Hello, folks, and good evening to this late night edition of the Gridiron Power Hour. I am your host, Jocelyn Fitzgerald, and with me, as always, is my co-host, Luther King. King Luther, that is.
Well, they know. They get it. We had a very entertaining guest a week ago, and we'll get him back, I believe, next week.
Yeah. And it'll be part two with Mr. Sean Smith of the NWFL.
And we'll definitely talk inside league and inside football stuff with him.
Yes.
Next Saturday.
Yes. So
the middle linebacker of our Middle Tennessee Nightmares women's football team, who I was blessed to have on my pod, was supposed to be with us today.
But she had a family emergency.
As in life, crap happens.
Yes.
So, once again, you're stuck with us.
Yes. And one of the games we're going to talk about is the Clemson-Georgia Tech game, which I got to see, but turned it off after it became like a Derrick Henry stiff arm in the mouth.
Georgia Tech came to play for about a quarter and just ticked over 5 minutes.
And only got 7 points to show for it. While Clemson scored a record-breaking 73 points.
Arena Bowl.
Thanks to QB Tyler Lawrence, next year's NFL draft hopeful, throwing a world record.
Out, that is.
Throwing a record 5 touchdowns, surpassing Cam Newton.
Ring a bell? Yeah, it does.
Yes.
The same Cam Newton who could play tomorrow.
Yep. And as I found out recently, Melvin Gordon III of the Denver Broncos is going to be out for Monday night's game.
Sunday afternoon's game, actually.
This is a Monday night game.
Wait. They moved so
This was a Denver game. The Denver Broncos. The Patriots and the Bills are playing. No, the Chiefs and the Bills are playing tomorrow.
Well,
and they're both going to dissect.
Monday afternoon. Actually, Chiefs and Bills Monday afternoon at 4. So we're going to get another doubleheader of Monday Night Pig.
Yeah. And both the Chiefs and the Bills are going to dissect just what went wrong this past Sunday and Tuesday.
Well,
on Sunday, if you saw Sunday's game against the Chiefs and the Raiders, the Chiefs pulled out a win for the...
No, they didn't, actually.
Yeah, the Raiders won.
Yeah, the Raiders did win because you gotta wonder what happened to the Chiefs.
Mm-hmm.
What did John Gruden figure out to shut down that high octane offense?
The key was, what would Logan Ryan do? Confuse the hell out of Patrick Mahomes.
Doesn't that sound like a typical Bill Belichick playbook?
Yep. And if any of you watched Tuesday night's game, you saw the stiff arm heard around the world.
And a guy that lost a step, Josh Norman, who basically shouldn't even be on the field no more. I mean, you want to talk about abuse.
That was it.
Josh Norman got flat out the taste knocked out of his ignorant mouth.
Nah, to say the least, Josh Norman thought he could tackle him up top when he should have tackled him below, and he went flying to pay for it.
You know what? As the late Larry Munson said about Herschel Walker, when a dude tried to tackle him with it by his legs.
Yep.
And I quote, a dude basically said, Herschel Walker's legs was like tree trunks.
Good luck.
You ain't tackling that man. And Derrick Henry
is like a big old truck. He's a 6'3", 247-pound Mac 10 pickup truck. The only way you'll be able to catch him is you catch his license plate after he flattens you.
And Josh Norman was looking up to the heavens like, what was the number on that license plate?
It more like he went yeet, as in he just got tossed.
It reminded me of Goldberg when Goldberg was destroying folks in wrestling.
Yeah.
Derrick Henry is the Tennessee Titans version of Bill Goldberg.
Mm-hmm.
I'm sorry, I don't mean to go back into 90s nostalgia wrestling.
Yes.
But that's when Derrick Henry is right. He is the Titans equivalent of Bill Goldberg, King Shamrock,
and Steve Blackman rolled into one.
Whoa! Let's take it one step further.
Let's.
If we're going 90s wrestling here, maybe I would probably compare Derrick Henry's running style to maybe just the freak of nature known as The Undertaker and his brother.
Kane.
When they're right.
They're right.
You couldn't stop them boys.
No.
And that's what Derrick Henry is.
And then apparently, the Titans have figured out how to confuse the heck out of Josh Allen. They figured out how to crack open the Buffalo Bills offensive playbook. They stopped thinking, what would we do? And think about, what should we do? Instead of going man coverage, we're going zone, and we're going to beat them at their game.
But what they did
is went zone.
They had a zone behind it.
Yeah, they went zone. They depict what the Bills were actually going to try to do.
Now, the Bills did hit a couple of plays with Stephon Diggs in the middle of the field against Malcolm Butler, who just
and Cole Beasley too.
Malcolm Butler, who looks almost like the Pillsbury Doughboy, but the first play from scrimmage, the first pass hits Roberts in not the hands,
but on the head. And Malcolm Butler picked up Allen not once, but twice.
Hit him in the chest.
That ball went up.
When a ball hits you like that,
it went up.
One or two things happen.
It's gonna pop up. And when it does,
either the quarterback threw it in a spot where he couldn't grab it with his hands, or the receiver never put his hands out. I wonder if it was a combination of both, because it looked like when the ball,
tried to meet him in the hands, it popped him in the head instead.
I don't know if you can go back and look at it and tell me.
You can. It's posted on YouTube. It's posted on YouTube.
But I couldn't tell if it just doinked off of him one time, or if it did the ever popular double doink like a Cody Parkey missed attempted field goal that basically got rejected by the uprights in the playoffs last year.
Well, it just did a doink, and it's a miscue.
Okay.
Yeah. It doinked off of Roberts' helmet into Malcolm Butler's hands.
Roberts had two of those.
And Roberts had read wrong. He was trying to... Yeah. There was actually miscommunication between him and Cole Beasley that led to that second interception. Because the ball went between them both into Malcolm Butler's hands once again.
Now, I know one of them he returned back to the 6 to the 15, and then one play later, when we last left our hero, downtown A.J. Brown, right in the middle of the end zone.
Mm-hmm.
Easy pickings.
And then we saw a touchdown celebration that almost ended up with Ryan Tannehill nearly putting himself on injured reserve.
Was that the
that running touchdown he did what he normally does when he leaped up. Except when he came back down, he almost tripped over his own 2 feet.
That's why they always tell quarterbacks,
don't jump.
Celebrate too quickly.
Yeah, and the score is Titans 42, Buffalo 16.
And now Buffalo and Tennessee both have the short week, as Buffalo will play Monday afternoon at 4 o'clock.
And the Titans plays tomorrow at noon against the 1-4 Houston Texans, which suddenly got their rhythm back after firing coach and general manager Bill O'Brien, which was the smart thing to do. They should have did that in the first place.
They should have done that like last offseason.
Yep. Let's figure out exactly what they did wrong besides trading DeAndre Hopkins and Laramie Tunsil.
Let us count the ways.
Trading those two off.
You trade for Laramie Tunsil, who really has done jack nothing.
No, they traded him.
They basically picked him up for a 5th round pick and a bond.
Yeah.
On draft.
Yep.
And then they traded Dwayne Brown to the Seattle Seahawks, who, by the way, which has been one of the underrated pieces of that Seahawks offensive line.
They traded DeAndre Hopkins to the St. Louis Cardinals. No, the Arizona Cardinals.
Oh, Lord. You're going all the way back to the 70s.
My fault. They traded him back. They traded him.
Were in St. Louis before they relocated to Tempe.
Yeah, they traded him to the Arizona Cardinals. Where the coaches just happens to be one Dr. Jennifer Welter. Let's hopeful that she'll teach him something.
And then they traded for David Johnson, who still has a career, but my God. Here's a question for you. Why did you trade for him if you weren't going to use it?
And that, folks, is what grinds his gears. But here's where things going to get really messed up.
And then they had the audacity and the unmitigated gall to trade Deshaun Watson's safety blanket for basically a bucket of balls, Cracker Jacks, peanuts, and a surplus of nails that will never be used in anybody's lifetime.
And that
they traded DeAndre Hopkins
to the Cardinals.
For what?
Nothing.
For an excuse me, I hope your wife kicks you in the gonads after you get home.
I hope you're still a man after your wife hands you your nuts, which is now your coin purse.
And let's hope and pray by the time she gets down giving you that nice, loving, and talented bucket full of kerosene after you burn yourself alive, that you actually still can tell the tale after you have to have 15 hours of major operational surgery.
Yeah, speaking of trading, there's one former Tennessee Titan that the team is kind of happy to see go. Kameli Correa, by saying he was unhappy here, they traded him to the Jags.
Wait. The Titans traded Correa
to the Jags for a 5th round draft pick and a 7th round draft pick. That's what we got out of it.
Here's the thing. Correa really wasn't doing jack anyway.
That's true.
Okay.
That's true. Since the late signings of Vic Beasley and Jadeveon Clowney.
Well, here's the deal. Beasley and Clowney, all they're there to do is rush the passer and make life miserable.
Yep.
Here's the thing. I can go, and I can sleep well at night, knowing that I got Vic Beasley and Jadeveon Clowney with Jethro Tull, a.k.a. Jethro Simmons, and one of our picks, Mr. Markkanen, up front getting some more run.
Mm-hmm.
Than dealing with a Kapamali Correa, where they actually had him play the nickel linebacker spot because the Titans were down a couple of defensive linemen.
Yeah, but here's another thing. But here's one thing. I'm glad they did not get Le'Veon Bell. I'm glad.
Well, hold on.
Because guess who wound up with him just a few days ago?
Yesterday.
Yep, guess who got him?
I know who got him. And to be honest with you, smart move on the Chiefs' part.
It ain't the Chiefs.
In a roundabout way.
It ain't the Chiefs. The Chiefs, it ain't the Chiefs.
No, they got him.
Yeah. And here's why. He chose them over the Bills and the Dolphins. Because he wants that Super Bowl ring. Speaking of Super Bowls, former Chiefs running back who won a ring with that team, a month after he got it, he sold it. And that's Mike Weber. He sold his Super Bowl ring.
Basically a guy that hasn't done jack squat like his quarterbacking counterpart, Dwayne Haskins,